And of course, you got to start off with the biggest story of the year, I guess you could say, as far as the secondary goes. A first round pick that hasn't quite lived up to the hype yet, but on top of that, has had some issues, and that's Deonte Banks. And listen, there's a whole slew of possibilities of what the exact issue he's having right now is, guys. I've said it on the show before. I'll say it again. I think the Giants put him out there before he was ready for CB1. Rob and I both weren't too high on the pick when the Giants first made it. We thought he was a second round talent, and that's not a knock either. Second round talent is still better than most people that come out of the draft. We just thought he was drafted way too early for where the Giants had gotten him. Obviously, they liked him. They thought he was a good fit, especially for wings defense. But this year, he definitely had a regression, and he didn't necessarily have a great first year. He was a CB2 for most of the year, got exposed by a couple of the bigger name receivers in the division, and went back down being a CB2 once Adoree Jackson came back from his injury. This year, he was, planted in as the CB1, and yeah, things did not go well, that's for sure. 14 games overall, 52 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 12 passes deflected, and a forced fumble. Overall, a 50.9 PFF grade, 50.3 in coverage, 52.8 in run defense, and 70.4 as a pass rusher. Listen, guys, but it boils down to it. You're a cornerback. Your first and most important thing is how you are at covering. And he had a 50.3 coverage rate as the CB1. That's bad. Like, it doesn't take a genius to figure out that's bad. You couple that with the issues he was having with the team, and the team did a pretty good job of kind of not letting anything be fully known as far as what the issues were. But obviously, we know he's called out by coaching staff, specifically Jerome Henderson, who's no longer on the team now. He was accused by media, including Rob and I, of not exactly, giving it his all effort-wise in the field. Obviously, the Eagles game, there was one play specifically that got, blown up big time there on social media because it was quite obvious he was dogging it. Listen, he's a young kid. He's got talent. I don't want to give up on him. I'm not there. I'm not there to give up on him because I still think he's a legitimate NFL player. I'm not sure how high the ceiling is, and that's why we didn't think he was a first-round pick to begin with. Thought he was a physically gifted corner that was a bit of a project overall. I think Rob and I have kind of been proven to be right on that one. But I'm not going to give up on somebody who was a first-round pick that we traded up for a couple of years ago, and somebody who has talent that he still could see. He's still going into his third year. But I'm going to sit there and say that if Deonte Banks is your corner one going into the Giants season in 2025, they messed up. Point blank, they messed up. And I'm not even saying to get another rookie or somebody in the draft like that. I mean, that's possible. Get Will Johnson or something like that if the quarterbacks are gone. But you got to get a veteran corner in here. And I don't mean Adoree Jackson, we'll talk about it a little bit. I mean a legit, I can come in, I can be CB1 if you need me to. I can take the step back as CB2 if Banks steps up. I can train these guys, that kind of position, the veteran presence. A guy like Ward coming out of the 49ers, who's already been said point blank, he doesn't want to come back and play for the Niners. And not even because of the Niners or issues there, just he had a tragedy hit his family, and unfortunately, everywhere he goes, he kind of thinks about it because he's still in that city. Bad reason to be getting a free agent potentially, but listen, we need a corner. We need a guy who can legit come in as a CB1, and not necessarily a shutdown corner because there's not a lot of those. Those don't grow on trees. But at the very least, get a corner that is somebody who's not going to embarrass himself against better talent. Look at like Amari Cooper, for example, when the Giants played the Browns. He embarrassed Deonte Banks. And Amari Cooper did not have a great season, guys. Did not have a great season at all. Especially with his time with the Browns. But he went off versus the Giants. A lot of receivers went off versus the Giants. And we ran a gauntlet of great receivers. Don't get me wrong. He didn't exactly have an easy task. But Banks did not meet the task, that's for sure. And again, I blame the Giants on that one. He wasn't ready. It was quite obvious he wasn't ready. They forced the kid in that just wasn't ready. And what you do when you put people in a scenario not to succeed, like the Giants did, frustrations boil over. Issues pop out. Immaturity shows its way because you have a person, like, I'm not trying to be mean to like a younger guy, but he's not fully mature. Listen, at his age, we all thought we were. Like, I get it. Like, there's probably people like at his age watching the show going, "This old guy, get off my lawn." He's 23. Listen, if you're 23, you might not realize it yet, but give it 20 years when you're my age, because I'm 42, so just about there. And you'll go, damn, I was stupid when I was 23. Damn, I did stupid things. And I'm talking professionally, friend-wise, family-wise. There's so many things that we all do at that age that's just stupid. Because we're not fully grown up yet mentally. Because life hasn't happened. It's not that he's immature. I'm not trying to say something like that. Life hasn't happened enough. And I think that's the scenario. Is he got put in a really bad scenario and didn't deal with it well. It's hard for me to chastise somebody too much. Now that the season's over and we can reflect on it. The Giants did him wrong by making him a CB1. Point blank did him wrong by making him a CB1. And hopefully they rectify it this year coming up. Make him a CB2. And don't even guarantee him anything. Listen, you get a veteran coming in here and you get a chance to get a Will Johnson, and you say, listen, that's fine. Will Johnson, Deonte Banks, you guys are battling out for CB2. There's nothing wrong with that. He did play bad enough this year that you can have the issues that you can sit there and say, it is what it is. But like I said, I think the Giants put him in a bad enough situation. I can't chastise him to the point where I'm saying I'm done with him. We invested too much into him. He's got the physical tools. Let's see if it comes out next year. But you got to protect yourself by having a legit person that can walk in there and be a CB1. And that if Banks earns it back, great. Great. No, seriously, great. That is perfect for the Giants. But you can't count on it. And you can't go into the season depending on that. Because you've already seen what's going to happen potentially. If everything stays as is, he's going to fall flat in his face again. And you know what happens when you let somebody fall in their face over and over again? You get Daniel Jones. You get somebody who never reaches their potential. For his own development, he's got to be a CB2 again. That's where he needs to be. So,
if you like that clip, then you will love the full episodes too. Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please,